pool full of that shit. Jump in.
Oh, that would be the best.
Just lay down in it. Not even drink it or eat it. Just lay down in that shit. All right, everybody. Welcome to Hot Couch Potato, the podcast where we talk about video games, not couches or potatoes. My name is Brent, a.k.a. Boo Wop. I'm here with my man Rick, a.k.a. A New Perfect Day. What's going on, man?
Hey, man. It is fucking hot. I don't know what is going on with this crazy weather, but, like, it rained the other day for, like, 30 minutes, and then it was just blasting all this heat waves, and I don't know, man, it's like global warming happening.
Global warming. Yeah, it's horrible, man. I'm sweating as we're talking right now, and I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting down.
Yeah, I'm afraid to take a dump because I don't want to be sweating, so...
Worst experience ever, dude.
Well, I'll say the good thing that happened was I managed to get my California burrito.
There you go.
Yeah, I was saying earlier in the previous podcast, like, there is, like, no California burrito or carne asada fries up in LA, or at least I haven't found one yet, you know? It's like, the kind of Mexican food they have up there is, like, traditional kind of Mexican food. I don't know.
Beans and rice and stuff like that?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just super happy that I was able to get that first thing when I woke up this morning.
Nice.
How is your weekend coming along?
It's all right, man. Busy so far. It's gonna get busier. You know, the NFL season is starting back up, so got a fantasy football drafts coming through.
Making the bets?
Yeah,
making
man.
Millions of dollars?
Bro, I don't know. It's not even about the money. At this point, it's pride. You know, I just cannot lose to some of these people. But the payouts are all right. I think I actually won the Super Bowl a couple years ago in one of my leagues, and
oh, nice.
Got maybe $1,000. So it's worth it.
Damn.
It's a long investment for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's kind of worth it in the end. So that's tomorrow. Got to do a little bit of homework after this for that. Other than that, yeah, trying to stay cool, man. Imagining pools filled with mango slushies and shit to dive in right now.
I know, dude. I'm like laying down, playing dead on the floor. I'm like, I don't want to move. It's so crazy, bro.
I know.
So crazy.
I know. I'm definitely missing my old place with the unlimited AC and solar power. That would be so clutch right now, bro. But yeah, man. So this weekend was the Penny Arcade Expo over in Seattle, aka PAX West. It's kind of grown into its own thing. It used to be just an indie game conference. Now everybody's there. I think Xbox and Bungie and Activision, Sony, everybody's over there showing off something, right? I know this week they've dropped a bunch of trailers for a bunch of different games. So news is out there for sure. I think one of the biggest things I saw was the next, what's that game called? By Suda51? No More Heroes, I think. There's going to be a new sequel coming out for that. Have you ever played that game?
No More Heroes? Is that like on the Wii?
Yeah. You like battled lightsabers and stuff.
Oh, they're doing a remake, or is this a sequel?
No, I think it's gonna be a sequel. I think it's gonna be the third one. It's called Travis Strikes Back or something. I don't know. Hold on, let me see real quick. But that game was fun, and you know, Suda51 is just crazy, dude.
I forgot there was a lot of people that were trying to get me into playing that game. I just haven't had the time, or I don't no longer own a Wii, so maybe if it comes on the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah,
I'm down to check it out.
Yeah, Travis Strikes Again, it's called, and it comes out on the Nintendo Switch, actually. And I think you'll like it, man. It has a similar art style to, I want to say, Persona. It's cell shading, and it's just super anime, dude. They have all those crude and lewd jokes in there, it seems like, by the trailer. So you might dig it, man. You might dig it. But no, I always think this convention is cool. It's great that it's growing, too. There's how many? 2 or 3 of these? There's PAX East, PAX West, and I want to say there's one in Texas. Don't quote me
Are
on
they
that.
really crowded for the other ones, like the PAX East and the PAX, I don't know, the one in Texas, versus the one in PAX West, because I know that like as soon as tickets hit the floor for PAX West, it like immediately sells out, just like Comic-Con.
Yeah. Oh no, I have no doubt that those are popping as well. I think I've seen one year there was a fiasco at PAX East because there was a blizzard or something. PAX East is in Boston, I believe, or somewhere in Massachusetts, and there was a blizzard and people were lined up outside freezing their asses off.
Damn.
So I know for sure, yeah, it gets pretty popping over there on those sides of it too. But yeah, I think it's cool, man. You know, it's just a place for indie games to thrive, get the attention that they really need, you know, because a lot of them start with Kickstarter and things like that. So I think it's cool, man, because indie game developers aren't tied down by the confines of being pressured to make this great game like a Call of Duty every time, right?
Yeah.
They have that creative freedom to make games like Super Meat Boy or Fez or Terraria and stuff like that. So I think it's great. I think it's great that it's growing. But speaking of AAA titles, Destiny 2 is coming out soon. The countdown is on. This is the last week we're doing the countdown, man.
They should have just released it this weekend. I don't understand their logic.
Yeah, and I mean, usually video games drop on what, Tuesdays, right? This one, Destiny's dropping on a Wednesday. September 6th.
Wednesday.
Yeah,
I guess it's because they want to go on, you know, holiday before the big rush when they release everything and then all of their servers crash and
yeah, man, it's gonna be wild. It's gonna be wild. I know I pre-ordered from GameStop for whatever reason, dude. I don't know if there was a pre-order bonus or something. So I'm gonna be out at GameStop 9 o'clock at night here on the West Coast. Pick that shit up early.
Yeah, don't you get some sort of exclusive with like Cade, or I don't remember. You get like some GameStop exclusive, but I was like, nah, I'll just go ahead and download the digital version. I'll be nice and comfy in my bed.
You know,
this is your Comic-Con.
Dude, I hope not. I hope it's smooth and I'm gonna show up at 9:15 and just walk in, walk out. I hope. I've already paid for it.
You're
so
very idealistic.
I'm trying to
or
chill.
optimistic, my friend.
Yeah, dude. I'm trying to chill. Just walk in, walk out in that piece, man. And to be honest, I don't know. I'm really not tripping about exclusives. I know. So, and this is how much I don't care about the exclusives now, right? There's a Pop-Tart promo going on right now.
What?
If you buy a pack of Pop-Tarts from either Target or Walmart and you text a picture of your receipt, you get a custom Sparrow or some shit like that.
What, dude? We gotta go get some Pop-Tarts
No,
right
man,
now.
I'm not gonna buy Pop-Tarts for a fucking Sparrow, man. Are you kidding? I'm not doing that.
What if the Sparrow was like designed as a Pop-Tart? That would be amazing.
It's like a fucking magic carpet and shit. You're just standing on it. I got my fucking strawberry Pop-Tart here. Dude. My s'mores Pop-Tart. That would be ridiculous, man. But yeah, that's how much I don't care. I saw that Pop-Tart thing. I was like, you would, Activision. You would.
Dude, what if GameStop sells the Pop-Tarts? Would you buy it there?
Okay. If they sell, if while I'm picking up Destiny 2 from GameStop, they have just a stand of Pop-Tarts, maybe I'll pick one up. Maybe. But I'm not going to go out of my way to buy some fucking Pop-Tarts, man. It's ridiculous.
I don't know. I better not see you in Rouse buying Pop-Tarts.
I haven't eaten a Pop-Tart since elementary school, man. It's always been toaster strudels, you know, getting fancy and shit.
Ooh, yeah. And Hot Pockets.
Hot Pockets. Oh, dude, Hot Pockets are the best of times and the worst of times, dude. You gotta cook those perfectly. You know, for a long time.
It can't be cold or too hot.
Yeah, for a while. Maybe, you know, in my early days of cooking Hot Pockets, I didn't use the sleeve. I would just put it on a plate and just cook it. Yeah, and just microwave it, dude. And then I would always have it like soggy and then still frozen in the middle. I go, Pop-Tarts. Hot Pockets fucking suck, dude. Why am I eating this? And it wasn't until one day I actually used the sleeve, and I guess it, you know, makes everything nice and crisp and cooks it all the way through. I was like, oh my god, my world has changed.
Dude, I have mastered the arts of cooking Hot Pockets.
You probably use your pizza cooker for that thing.
Oh, I should try that out. But yeah, the ideal time for a hot pocket is 2 minutes and 10 seconds on high settings.
Is that on every? Is that on every
On
microwave?
every microwave, so it's a guaranteed.
2 minutes and 10 seconds in the sleeve. I guarantee it. See, maybe if Destiny had a Hot Pocket promo, maybe I would go out of my way to buy some Hot Pockets. That is funny, man. So yeah, by the time this episode drops, Destiny will be out in 2 days, Wednesday,
And then we won't ever see you ever again.
Yeah, man. It's gonna. Oh, plans? No, I don't have any plans. I'm just gonna play Destiny. You can catch me online. How about that? But this week was great because they had the Destiny 2 PC beta go live.
Fuck yeah!
It was through Battle.net, so Blizzard was hosting it. Actually, yeah, that's where you're gonna be able to get it from, because Activision is the publisher for Destiny 2. But at the same time, they own Blizzard. I think the official name for Blizzard is Blizzard Activision nowadays, so that's why it'll be on there. Were you able to download it? I know you don't have the greatest internet, but you got some playing time in, right?
Yeah, I was able to download it like 2 days. It took me almost 2 days to download that PC bit. Yeah, so it's like I started from like maybe nighttime, and then the next day I had to apply another patch. So it took me the entire day to download that extra patch just to be able to play it for like maybe 30 minutes. But
oh wow,
yep.
What was your experience like, man? How did you like Destiny and 60 plus FPS? Amazing graphics on your display port, monitor, and all that, man.
Dude, like, I already knew that I was committed to buying the console version because I know that a lot of our friends and the people we play with are on the PS4. But as soon as I started it up, turned everything to the highest graphic settings, man, everything was super fast paced. I was able to like do a 360 no scope with my pistol and stuff like that. The explosions are all in HD. You can see like the enemies crying in their tears, man. Oh, it was amazing, dude. It's incredible. It's just like I really want the PC version, but how many people, that we know is going to actually be on the PC version? Even though I know that a lot of people have good PCs to be able to run it, I'm pretty sure everybody's still going to pick up the PS4 version.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. And I think just because it even comes out on Wednesday, people will pick up the console versions. Because the PC version, I don't think comes out until late October. It's
oh really? I thought it was going to be like simultaneous release.
Oh no, yeah, it's just consoles on this week, but it won't. I want to say October 20th. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, it's near the end of October is when the PC version is going to drop. That being said, I think this beta impressed a lot of people, man. I know Danny hit me up and said he was going to pick it up on PC. I know I'm gonna pick it up on PC too.
Oh,
and I'm just gonna, I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna play with everybody, on PlayStation 4, and then on PC, I'm just gonna hang out in 60 FPS and jump and spin 360s in the air at the same time and shoot. Because it's a lot. I don't know. I guess it's because of the way my controller is set up. I really can't do that. I can't jump, turn, and shoot at the same time, right? Because I use X to jump, and that means my thumb is off of the right joystick, so I can't look to that side at the same time. With Destiny on PC, mouse and keyboard, that's just a different element to the game I didn't know existed, man. Jumping and turning, what the hell?
Yeah, exactly, dude. It was so amazing. Even though I have potato internet, you know that one scene where like other players jump in. Yeah, that scene particularly was pretty smooth for my kind of internet. It's just nice. Everything was there's no lag at all. There's no drops in frames. It was just completely smooth. And I don't know if they just polished that particular mission, because I haven't tried the strikes. But dude, I think it's gonna be a blast to play that game on PC. especially coming from playing on the console and then
Mhm.
transitioning over to 60 frames per second kind of stuff.
It just looked that much smoother, didn't it? Everything looked way more fluid. It seemed more fast paced, but at the same time, you could tell it's the same speed. It's just there's a lot more um, animations that are a lot more cleaned up. I can't explain it. I guess that's the only way you can explain it. There's more frames. There's more frames per action that you can see at the same time. So yeah, it was inexplainable. It was so beautiful after playing Destiny 1 all these years, and then finally seeing what it could be like on a PC. It was just great. I was crying for real.
Exactly, dude. It was so fast. I didn't even know what was going on or what I was shooting at, but I was still landing all of my headshots. I was like, my brain could not process the information fast enough. That's how well and smooth that game was.
Yep. It's like when back in the day when we used to play Smash Bros. We'd play on slow motion for a couple rounds, and then we'd go into lightning mode and just have no idea what we were doing anymore.
Yep.
That's what it felt like for me, for sure.
Yeah,
I actually played a lot of the beta this past week. During the console beta, I only played on a hunter, and I did maybe the first mission, the strike, and then just a few rounds of PvP, and that was it. I didn't play too much longer than 4 hours, but I really played the PC beta for the whole 2 days I was able to. You know what I mean?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was crazy, and I suck at PvP. On the PC, dude, I was getting murked up. And they changed the scoring system too. It's 4v4 now, but it doesn't count your kills. It counts, I think they call it efficiency. So you get 1 point for every assist, and then you get 2 points for a confirmed kill, essentially. So if you land the killing blow on someone, you get 2 points. And then at the end of the round, your stats, it's not necessarily a KD, it's your efficiency ratio or whatever, and divides your death by how many points you have. That being said, yeah.
What about the people that died like 50 times, but like killed 100 times?
Oh yeah,
so it's like 50% efficiency?
No, yeah, it'll be, well, no, because that'll still be their KD essentially. It just depends on the assists, whatever they get too, right? Like however many bullets they land. In that case, it'd be a 2. Their KD would be 2, or their efficiency would be 2. All this being said, you can get points any kind of way in PvP now, and I still was barely getting over 1.0, dude. It was horrible. That means my assists and kills combined were barely adding up to my deaths, dude. It was so bad. So bad. And this time around too, I was able to play on other classes. I played a little bit on the Warlock. I really just played the first mission because I couldn't stand it. Shout outs to all my Warlocks out there. And I actually played a lot of the Titan class, and dude, the Titan is so overpowered, I think.
Oh, they buffed him up?
Yeah, I mean, when you use your super, you initially, for the Fist of Havoc, you initially do it, and he does the slam. And then you still have your bar, so you could either run and do a charge melee, or you can slam, I think, 2 or 3 more times. It's ridiculous. So in that first mission, when you're up there, like you were talking about with Zavala, and there's the other guardians jumping in and out of your world, I used the super, and then I just ran around for a bit, supered 3 more times, all in the same bar.
Damn.
And that part of the mission was done. It was crazy. So overpowered.
Well, I guess I can see where they're coming from. It's like, you do that power slam, and then half the time you miss everybody, and it's like you just wasted a full super, and versus everybody else who have their supers that they're able to use it more than once or kill more than once, aside from the Warlock's bomb thing. But they're able to last longer. Like Golden Gun, they're able to shoot 3 people. You miss once, you still can shoot them twice. So
and Golden Guns last longer too. I think you could pop off maybe 6 or 7 shots now before the timer runs out. Yeah, gets kind of. And then the Warlocks, their Nova Bomb, it tracks you now. It was so broken. So I'm over here standing on this point in PvP, and this guy throws a Nova Bomb at me. I go, okay, roll out of the way. I'm around the corner. I see the big orb come around the corner and follow me. I'm like, what the fuck? Are you for real? And I die. It's horrible, man.
Holy shit. Holy shit.
But I mean, other than the graphical improvements, there were some gameplay improvements as well. The timers for the abilities, your grenade, your melee, and your class ability, whether it's the roll or putting up the shield, they lowered those a lot. So I think I mentioned before, I would, as a hunter, do a roll and then wait 5 minutes, and then I can roll again. It's about a minute now, and it seems a lot faster too when it comes up. So I didn't have to really save my roll. I could use it, and then I would be assured that it would come back soon enough, instead of being stuck on an island, not being able to roll. So that was good.
Yeah, I remember the first time they implemented the roll. Like, I recorded a video of me like going into PvP, and you just roll right past the enemy right behind them and blast them away. But that was the time when you can do multiple rolls at a time.
Yeah, and they added that pseudo cooldown to it, so I think you can only roll like twice or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's good that they lessen the cooldown timers on those. And then the armor, while the supers are active, is a lot lower too. So although you can do that initial slam when you're running to try and slam someone else as a Titan, you can get killed pretty easily. It's not too crazy. I mean, it's going to take more than one person, but you can still get killed a little more efficiently than it used to. That patch I think you had to download your second day was they released the farm, which is the new tower. So they had that open for a couple hours on the second to last day of the PC beta. I think it was just a stress test to see how many people they can get in there in that limited amount of time, because everybody would try to get in there for that small 2-hour window.
Is there still a limit of how many people can be in that same world? Like, I think it was like 8 people at once.
There is a limit probably, but it's a lot more than 8 people, and it's not like the tower where there's 3 different wings essentially. It's a big open space, so you can stand on one end of it and see the other end and see everybody in between. So you always see who's around you. And there's a soccer field in there with 2 goals and a soccer ball. So of course everybody was playing that. Yeah, and then it was like Rocket League or Lucio Ball. Everybody was just in there, and that's how I know that there's definitely more than 8 people there. Because in the farm instance I was in, there was maybe 15 or so people just trying to kick that soccer ball around. It was great. It could be its own game. It's gonna be the next holiday event, scoring goals on the farm. But yeah, man, it's gonna be great. 2 days when this episode comes out, 2 days until we get to play Destiny 2 and nothing else.
In the middle of a work week.
Hell yeah, man. I won't lie. I took Thursday and Friday off. And the thing is, too, it's a 3-day weekend this weekend. So I'm only going to go to work for 2 days and then have a 4-day weekend. It's going to be amazing. and where I'm working, they're going to start striking.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, dude. So it was a little bit awkward. I had to ask for time off maybe 2 days before the strikes start. So I know my boss was looking at me sideways like, really? You're gonna take paid time off or you're gonna go strike? I'm like, yeah, dude, I don't really care. So it was a little bit awkward. But yeah, man, other than the Destiny 2 beta, what else have you been playing this week?
I haven't really been playing much, but I just been trying to stick to the Batman. Finish that up, and there's a lot of events going on, and I'm working with Poison Ivy to help stop the Scarecrow, and it's cool too, because I was like, there's this one part where I was just driving around the city, just trying to master driving my vehicle, my Batmobile, and then I noticed that one of the buildings' alarm was going off, and I was like, what the heck, is this a mission? And I looked on the map, and there was nothing on the map, and I was like, okay, whatever. So I like walked through the front door, and it turns out like Two-Face's goons is all robbing the bank. So I like, go on the ceiling and I just analyze the situation, and then I have to like stop all the crooks from throwing all the money into their getaway car. And it's cool because like they bust open they drive through the front door where I just walked in with their dump truck to load the car, and I was like, damn, dude, this is all happening and it's not even part of the mission. So it's just like building more of the story of you being the goddamn Batman, just stopping crime whenever. You don't like just go to point A, point B to stop crime. There's like in between kind of situations that happen. And like, for example, like all of a sudden, I get a call from Riddler saying like I've kidnapped Catwoman, and I was like, damn, dude, I gotta go save Catwoman now, you know, like from the Riddler. And I was like, dude, it's pretty innovative for all the missions and what's going on, and I just really enjoy playing the game, and that's how it got me pretty immersed in playing the game. And so, yep.
Nice, man. Yeah, and I guess it is more organic when you stumble upon something that's happening, right? It makes it seem like the world's alive and Two-Face just decided to rob this. You know, it's not part of the main story, but it just happens in the world. So that sounds That sounds awesome. And I know you've played all the Batman games, right? At least the ones by Rocksteady.
Yeah.
Where does this one rank out of all of them?
So far, I haven't really beaten this one, so I can't really compare it to the other two. But a lot of people love the second one, which was Arkham City.
Okay.
And even though I beat Arkham City, I think they were saying that the story in Arkham City was better than the one in Arkham Knight. But versus gadgets and doing everything that Batman could ever possibly do, they would say that Arkham Knight is actually pretty up there when it comes to using all of his abilities as Batman.
Oh, okay. So he has a lot more stuff that he can do and things you could do to beat enemies in Arkham Knight.
Exactly. All these type of different gadgets, using the Batmobile, using like dual takedown, fighting with your partners like Robin, or fighting with Catwoman to fight different monsters and thugs. It's just that I think that's what they brought in Arkham Knight versus Arkham City. So it's pretty cool and all. The story is pretty interesting. It's just I haven't really beaten the story, so hopefully, you know, I can say that I really enjoyed the story better than Arkham City. If not, I really enjoy being Batman.
Really enjoy being Batman in this one more than the
other. Pretty much. You know, like the first game, Arkham Asylum, it was more kind of like sneaking. You're mostly like in the shadows, like how Batman is supposed to be. And you were like taking down enemies from behind the corners, from the darkness. Number 2 is mostly you're like gliding over the city. You're starting to develop your Batman skills, your Batman gadgets, and you're learning everything. And then number 3, it's like you're driving the damn Batmobile and it's blowing a tank. People up. Yeah, running people over even though they're not supposedly dead. I don't know how people live from me running them over. So, yep, Batman game is really fun, and I definitely recommend playing it, especially the entire series.
Dude, do you actually think Batman has never killed anybody?
I'm not close to the DC world, but I believe there's some alterations where he did kill somebody, and they just like, I don't know. Supposedly his forte is he only breaks bones, he doesn't kill. But then I think that the ones that really do die, and even though he didn't directly do it, he indirectly killed people. You know, like if a bomb is about to go off, or for example, there's the one movie in Arkham Suicide Squad. I forgot the name of it, but anyways, Joker was not flying. He was in a helicopter, trapped in a helicopter, and the helicopter was like going down, and it was about to crash. But Batman saw it, but he chose like not to do anything, you know, or he couldn't do anything. So it's like he indirectly killed somebody. He just chose not to save somebody. But you know, I don't know.
I feel the same way actually. I feel like he's not directly responsible for someone dying, but he is responsible because he turns his back and doesn't do anything, right? Like someone's in a burning building, and he could save them, but he'll just walk away because they're a bad guy, and whatever happens, happens. If they die, that's cool. He's like fucking Drago, is that his name in Rocky? If he dies, he dies. It's fucking Batman just walking away, bro.
Yep, exactly.
All right, cool. And you're playing that on PS4 or Steam?
Steam. And I'm like, dude, I really want to start purchasing a lot of games, just mainly on my PC, but then I really want to play with the other people. too. So hopefully when all of our friends get all advanced computers and all that, then maybe we can all finally do the switch over to the PC world and, I'll play Destiny on full 60 frames, crying in HD.
Watching my tears fall at 60 frames a second, dude.
Yup.
Dude, when you initially said that, I thought you were doing a Nintendo commercial. All our friends make the Switch. I was like, whoa, okay. But yeah, man, I think the only thing for me is just the unorganization of it, maybe. There's too many operating systems on PC where you can get games from and stuff, right? Like Ubisoft has their own place where you can buy games. EA has their own thing where you could get games from. I want it just to be in one spot.
Exactly.
And the way that because I have games on Ubisoft's platform. I have games. I think I have Mass Effect and stuff like that on EA's platform. And I'll never play it because I'm too lazy to install the operating system for those. So
exactly, like that's why I was like, I really wanted just to stay within Steam, and I really wanted to stay within BattleNet. Other than that, I don't want to download Origins. Like for example, I bought Witcher twice. The first time, it was from the Origin. You have to download their launcher and then download the game through their website. But I was like, man, this is a pain in the butt to update if there's any other patches. So I decided to buy it off of Steam when it was on sale. So I have the game twice, but now Steam automatically updates the patches and all of the games where I don't have to go to the website, developer website, to download the patches, even though I'm not even aware of any bugs and things going on like that. So
it just doesn't do it automatically as Steam would.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel you for sure. One thing I forgot to add about you just reminded me because you were talking about updates and things like that for these games, but Destiny 2 needs cross-saving. Oh no, you reminded me when you said you bought Witcher twice. Yeah. Destiny 2 needs cross-saving. Please, Bungie, Activision, find a way. You will sell millions and millions of this game if you put cross-saving in. If I could play on my PS4 but at the same time have that same gear on PC, it would be amazing, dude.
Yeah, that's how it is with the Final Fantasy 14, where you buy, your gear, even though the settings are not saved, your gear and your character just transfers over to the PC world. So, and it's like seamlessly. So if they have the money, I would really want them to do it. Otherwise, I would end up buying it too. I'd be on the PC with you. Exactly.
I mean, that's kind of a bad example because I'm going to buy PC version regardless, but it would make it that much better. And I think it would sway a lot more people into buying both, It ties all the communities together too, right? I mean, Destiny 2 is big on community at this point. It takes all these 3 separate communities and brings them all into one at certain points. So they need to do it. Grand Theft Auto 5 Online does that too. You can have a character on PS4 and transfer them onto PC and vice versa. So
yeah, I think it's a one-time deal though. Like I couldn't transfer some of my money and my apartment over to the PS4, even though I purchased it on PC. But I was able to transfer my data over to PS4, so it gets a little tricky with that.
Oh, okay. Well, see if maybe they did a one-time thing too, because the PC version comes out so much later. If you could just transfer it that one time when the PC version comes out, so you'd have to grind all over again. Oh, that would be amazing too, actually.
Charge everyone $1 to transfer? I wouldn't.
Money. You're already thinking the Activision way, man. You're thinking the Activision way.
Maybe I should go into marketing.
You're gonna get hired soon.
I gotta sell my Batman game, and then.
But yeah, that's one of my big gripe with PC gaming is just there's so much unorganization. I mean, it grinds my gears that I have to go through Battle.net and Steam at the same time too, man. It bugs me
exactly.
A little bit. So yeah, that's cool, man. So other than playing the Destiny 2 beta, we've been playing Galgun. Started that up. If you haven't watched Hot Couch Potato Plays, definitely check it out. That game is ridiculous. Won't go too much into it because you can just watch it, but you got me again with these anime games, man. You got me again.
Watch, I log on. Galgun has been fully platinum.
Dude, I really. Oh, you know what I think? Because I haven't been on Steam. I'm probably still signed in on your Steam. I should sign out and uninstall that game. Well, that game is wild, man. All 3 words: Doki Doki mode. What
amazing.
the fuck?
That's your super hyper mode.
I'll never get it, dude. So ridiculous.
You gotta caress their feelings, man.
Gotta caress their feelings, dude. Oh man, it's funny when we first did it. I was trying to click, and you just see all these broken hearts everywhere.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh wait, I'm supposed to hold down and rub around. Oh,
I guess that makes sense. You know, like people don't like to get poked 50 million times.
I know, but the tutorial said you could either poke them or rub them, and the whole time I was trying to poke, and poking doesn't work on nobody. So I guess it's true. Yeah, you're right. You just gotta rub it out. Oh, ridiculous. I've also been playing. Dude, remember last week when I said I'm done playing Bloodborne?
Oh,
fuck no.
Yeah.
I'm still playing Bloodborne. In fact, I started a new character on Bloodborne. I think we mentioned last week that Rick and I were playing co-op on there, so I made a completely new character, respec them for just skill and strength, so I could kill things in one hit, and Rick can tank damage for me.
You mean bait? Because I like die in one hit.
Dude, I'll die in one hit. I put nothing into vitality. So yeah, just start over, made a new character. I think I just beat the Shadows of Yharnam like we just did when we played co-op. That still bugs me too, that there's no kind of respec mechanic in Bloodborne. They're missing out on that. Even if it is limited to just one time of playthrough, they're really missing out.
Yeah, exactly. And I was hoping to restart too, but if I restart, will I be able to play with you?
Yes, I think.
Or do we have to like beat the game, get all that material, ring the bell?
No, I think it's okay as long as you haven't, whatever area you're in, if you haven't beat the boss, then I could join you.
Oh.
So I don't think it matters really. Because remember, we were joining each other and we had to beat the boss like twice in your world and in my world, so it doesn't matter. I think you just have to beat, what's his name? Father Joe first. And then we could co-op, because we can't co-op that first area. But yeah, Bloodborne. Oh, and there's a fan remake of Tomb Raider 2. It's so funny, we were just talking about Tomb Raider last week. And there's a fan remake for it made with the Unreal 4 engine. And dude, this game is fucking amazing, man. I don't know where the hell this guy found time to make this, but it's perfect. I think it's perfect, dude. It's even better than the newer Tomb Raider games, man.
Really?
Yeah,
Is it free to download, or is he like charging?
No, yeah, it's free to download. I think the thing is the guy can't make money off of it. So, you know, with remakes, like, there's that one bootleg Pokemon game. I think I get Pokemon Uranium, right?
Yeah.
That got taken down. And then there was a Metroid 2 remake that a fan made that got taken down. A lot of these get taken down, but with this one, I guess this guy reached an agreement with Square Enix where as long as he's not making any money off of it, he can finish it, man. So
wow.
It's amazing.
They should just hire him, you know, take the project with him so that way he can be able to participate and actually release the game and make money off of it.
Yeah. So as it is right now, I think it's just a passion project for him, which means it'll take forever for the whole thing to come out. But I'm willing to wait. It was that much fun. With Tomb Raider, it was always more of a jumping puzzle kind of game, right? You had to time your jumps and everything like that. You had to build momentum and run and jump to go over larger gaps and all that. So it was a lot more different. The gameplay is a lot more different than what we expect nowadays with the modern Tomb Raiders, with Uncharted, where you just jump and climb up as fast as you can. In Tomb Raider back in the day, you really had to think, okay, what's the best path to go up to make it to this ledge? And they perfectly recaptured it in the remake. I mean, you can tell in Uncharted, right? There's bird poop on all the ledges you can climb on. it's like a little bit of a lighter color on things you can grab on. In this
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
I really got lost and I had to plan out like which rocks I would try to climb in which areas, you know. And then the lighting is great too. So you had to light flares to actually see where you have to go, you know, and it's like this limited resource that you have to use wisely to light the way. Um and yeah, man, I can't sing enough praise about it. It's great. I think it's just the first half of the first level from Tomb Raider 2. It's set in, what do you call it? The Great Wall of China, like under it, so you're exploring and stuff like that. There's a couple enemies you get to fight. They give you a shotgun, so there is a little bit of action in there, but you got to realize when Tomb Raider first came out, it really wasn't about the shooting. It was more about jumping around and things like that. But I think in the second one, there is a level where you get to go to Croft Manor and guys try to assassinate you in your house. So maybe that's when they started implementing a lot more action. But yeah, man, props to this guy, dude. I hope he finishes it because it'll be great.
Dude, yeah, I was just thinking maybe the reason why like the games became super popular at the time when their initial release, for example, like you were saying Tomb Raider, where it's mainly of like exploring and you gotta plan your resources, especially like Resident Evil 2, where you
survival
felt
horror.
really, yeah, it's a survival. And I could say that like Devil May Cry, for example, you felt vulnerable, you felt strong but vulnerable. But then now that these three genres had gotten so popular, like they turn it more into like action of how the games are designed for. You know, it's like you got infinite ammo, you feel super stronger, you don't have that sense of saving your resources or looking or scavenging. And I think that's a different direction that games had taken from their glory days, you know.
Yeah, I think if you could sum it up in a word, it would be games are a lot more casual, right? More and more people can come up and play the game rather than you really had to have the patience and the know-it-all to kind of go through Tomb Raider initially. But yeah, it's great. And the thing is, this thing is voice acted. Like, what the fuck?
Oh,
they
really?
went so far. Yeah. Someone voice acted this thing, and there's music. So that's the great part about Tomb Raider 2, and this might leak into a little bit about what we'll talk next, but it was always great when, like I said, they put you in this area and you have to figure out how to get out of it, find some keys, break down some walls, do some little environmental puzzles to go from room to room. And when you finally did solve the puzzle, it would play like this little tune of discovery. I can't explain it. It's a cross between classical music and the choir in the Halo 2
Dude,
main
are we
theme.
getting conditioned? You know, like in psychology where they ring the bell when there's food.
Oh, yeah. I know what you mean. Maybe, but it makes solving those puzzles that much more satisfying. Because you know you're doing the right thing. You know, you spend maybe 10 minutes figuring out how to jump from one side of the room to the other, or trying to figure out how to break down this cracked floor, you know, and you finally figured out, and then it plays this music, and you're like, yep, that was me. I did that.
Yeah.
The game recognizes it. But yeah, they capture all of the beats that you miss from the OG Tomb Raider, but at the same time, making it modern, you know. So yeah, I have no idea. Is this guy hiring out music composers and voice actors? That's crazy.
Is he pulling sound bites from different areas and just mixing it together, or
no, because the voice acting is different. It's way different from the original Tomb Raider 2. And he has journal entries in there. So if you ever, that's the thing too, I think that's kind of like Uncharted. You know, when you're stuck on a puzzle, Lara Croft has a journal that you can open up, and it has her thoughts, you know, where she'll suggest solutions to puzzles around you, you know. And I don't think those were voice acted in the original games, but in this one it's voice acted. Like, you see the journal entry and she'll read it. So it's kind of wild, man.
maybe we're just used to not having our hands or someone walking us through, guiding us through, like versus games now where everything is very obvious of where to go and how to solve the puzzle.
Mhm.
And
No,
back
yeah.
in the day, it's just like, all right, I got to use
You're on
my
your
own
own.
thinking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But no, I think that's all to say. There's just what kind of resources does this guy have? It's kind of wild. He's doing more than just designing the game for sure. You can play this game fully on your controller too. It's so, I don't know, man. Try it out, dude. If that's gonna be my game recommendation too. You have a computer, we'll put the website in the show notes. Download this thing. It's fucking amazing, man. Especially if you've played Tomb Raider back in the day.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10 would play that half level again. It's so crazy, dude. And then I even went through and watched, like, you know, the level he remade, but on the PlayStation 1 version. And it's so, he did a great job of modernizing it. So it's wild, man. Just blew my mind so much. But anyways, moving on to our topic of discussion this week. And how did you describe this, man? The memorable memories that we'll remember and reminisce in video games.
Something like that. Reminiscing on the memorable memory. Oh shit, I forgot.
But yeah, man, so these are just gaming highlights, experiences that we've had that just really stand out and we can remember. So what are some of yours, man? At least the highlights, the high times, the good times that you remember from the gaming.
I think I've discussed this in the previous podcast, but one of them was from Warhawk. And before this trophy release, it was to capture the flag 3 times by yourself within one match. And generally, capturing the flag in Warhawk was extremely difficult if you don't have a team with you, or if people are not like killing the enemies that are pursuing you. And this was like a 16 on 16 kind of brawl. And so what happened was, like, I would always just go directly to the enemy's base somehow, sneak into the enemy's base and capture their flag, and then like drive a jeep back. And I remember it was so epic that the first time I captured their flag, they sent like jets, tanks, jeeps after me. But I had previously set down a bunch of mines on the floor, and so when the enemy jeep would chase me, they would explode and I would get away from the tanks and the jeeps. But I still had troubles with the planes in the sky. And since my teammates were kind of busy dogfighting something else, like, I remember I got into the back seat of the jeep, which had a Gatling gun. And even though the jeep was rolling by itself, I was taking down all of the jets that were chasing me.
With a Gatling gun?
Yeah, dude. So, you know, I managed to capture the flag the first time. The second time, like, it's really difficult, by the way, to just capture a flag. Really difficult. So the second time, I don't know how I did it, but I managed to pull it off again. I flew my jet over, and I planted a mine on my jet, because you can't get into a jet with the flag. So I knew that they were going to jack my jet. So as soon as someone tried to jump into my jet, they would explode. So either way, I managed to get the second flag the second time. And then I remember I was like very eager and optimistic. I was going to get the third flag. So if you get 3 flags in one game, you basically win the game in general. But the timer was going to run out. I was like only down to maybe a minute. So I was like, okay, I don't think I'll be able to make it in time. So what the heck, let me just give it a shot. So I end up getting the third flag, but I died halfway into the map. The map is huge, by the way. It's a huge fucking map. It takes like, I don't know, like maybe, I don't know, a long time to get across. But anyways, I died halfway, and the enemies took over the rest of the base, the checkpoints where you can spawn.
Okay.
So you only can spawn back to your original base, which is like really near the beginning where your flag is. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna get this flag. So it, you know, the timer went down to like maybe 15 seconds, and I was like, okay, we won this. It's 2-0. We won this. I got the flag twice. I'm a hero. And I remember I see one of my team members had the flag, and the jets are on him. I was like, oh my god, the flag is on our base. So right when I like spawned, I like ran like maybe a couple feet in front of my teammate. He dies, and then the flag drops right in my hands, and I scored the third point. And I remember like the game ended with like less than 10 seconds, so it didn't even run. The timer didn't even run out. The game just ended. And then you can hear the enemy's mic and my mic. So they're all like chatting. They're like, what happened? Like, who scored the touchdown? And then they looked and they're like, oh my God, this guy scored 3 times. And then the enemy was like, yeah, I give you props, man. You the bomb. I was like, yeah.
Dude, it's like, it reminds me of the last scene in Rogue One when they're trying to get the Death Star plans through the door and Darth Vader's just fucking everybody up.
Yeah!
You're like that last guy, dude.
I'm the last dude. So that was pretty memorable in my book. The second time, one instance was, Witcher 3. So Witcher 3, I started off the game in hard mode, and which is you shouldn't start the game in hard mode, by the way. I was like feeling ballsy. I don't even know why I started the game in hard mode, but anyways, if you start in hard mode, you no longer auto heal. So if you take
need
damage,
the potions and stuff.
Yeah, you have to go buy potions. And for the longest time in the beginning of the game, I did not know how to buy anything. I didn't know where the potions were, how to get them. I thought they dropped from monsters, or I don't know. I didn't have any potions. So there's this one area, like I progressed pretty further in the game, and this sage, this girl sage or mage, whatnot, she teleports me to a dungeon. And the thing was, I'm used to saving before I go into dungeons. I didn't save before I enter this dungeon. And you're usually able to walk back out of the dungeon. But the thing was, she teleported me into a dungeon, so there was no exit. The only exit was to progress further into the game. And I was stuck in this dungeon for like almost 2 weeks, and I had no potions at all, dude. Yeah, it was so horrible. So the thing is, like I was always taking a lot of hits and I would die, but I would respawn back at the beginning of the dungeon. And I was like, fuck, man, I can't get out. My last save point was like 2 years ago. So I was like looking through my inventory. I was like, please give me something at least to heal. And I looked, and all I had was like 50 bottles of alcohol. So I was like, okay, maybe this will give me a little back some health. And sure enough, after drinking it, it does give you some health. The thing was, if you drank too much, you become drunk. So the entire dungeon, I was fighting all of the enemies while drunk. So the screen was all shifting, my character was all wobbly, and I
Wait, did I watch you do this? Was the screen like black and white the whole time too? Because you were playing it on a hard mode or something?
I think that was different.
Oh,
it's just
okay.
everything becomes like really wobbly, and your character starts throwing up if you drink too much. But dude, I was fighting so drunk through the entire thing. I was like, oh shit, I'm about to die. Let's drink some alcohol. Oh man, it was the toughest thing I've ever encountered in a game, because the alcohol barely gave you anything back, but it still gave you something. So I was very wary. I was always drunk, and I would always have to just fight all of the monsters and bosses, and for the longest time I was stuck on that part. But never again I would enter that dungeon, or I'll play on casual.
Always saving now, dude.
Exactly. And then another instance. This one's actually, I don't think this is like a epic moment, but I was playing Watchdog, and I was on this PvP area, and what you do as 2 players, one is you have to hack the other player, but he has no gun, and the other player has to find you and kill you. So he has a gun. So I was unfortunately the one that has to hack the other players, but I have to hide and hack. The thing was, we were kind of in an open field, so he spotted me immediately, and I was like, fuck, I can't do anything. I just have to run and hide, but there's nowhere to hide. So the thing was, there was a fence, and I was like, okay, maybe I can run away, jump the fence and run away. So I jumped the fence, and then I turned the camera to look if he's following me. He jumps the fence, but I've noticed his character puts away the gun while jumping the fence. So he's in an animation of jumping the fence. He can't shoot me because he's jumping the fence. So I get an idea. I was like, okay, maybe I'll jump the fence again. So
Over
I
and
jumped
over?
the
Oh my
yeah. So for 10 minutes, we were jumping the fence back and forth because he couldn't shoot me because I was on the other side of the fence, or he was in the animation of jumping the fence. So I was like, yes, I think I found the secret. So, for 10 minutes straight, we were just going back and forth, jumping the fence. And I was like, okay, I can last forever. I don't know about you. So, but at that point, he tries shooting the fence, and he, finds out that it doesn't work. And I was like, you're not going to get me, sucker. And then so he jumps the fence one more time, but this time he pulls out a rocket launcher. And I was like, oh, fuck, no. So I jumped the fence, and while I'm on the other side, he blows up the entire fence and kills me. And I was like, damn it, I could have got away with that. So, but yeah. And then the last thing I would like to say, one of my favorite memories is Red Dead Redemption.
Ooh, the best, dude.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that stuff.
So there's like two situations. One was me and my cousin were like shooting each other. I don't know what we were doing. We were just messing around shooting each other. And we were in like Bear Mountain or something like that.
Okay.
And then so while we were trying to shoot each other, we're like, you know what? Let's just fight fist on fist. Let's get close and personal. So we end up boxing each other. But the thing was, we noticed 3 giant bears come out of nowhere. And we're like, oh, fuck. So while we're boxing each other, we're like going in circles. We both turn and we're running side by side while getting chased by a bear. But the thing was, he did something and I tripped, and then all of the bears mauled me. I was like, fuck. And then the other situation I remember was pretty cool was me and you were trying to get me the bounty, the $1,000 bounty.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to stay alive for, I don't remember, it was like 10 minutes or something like, yeah. And this was online. So if you are wanted, all of the players are notified of your location and where to kill you. And they'll do whatever it takes to stop you. So I remember me and you were like holed up in Mexico. And dude, we were like taking on the entire world, just like killing every player that approaches or looks at us, Mm-hmm. And I remember like we would always get down to like the last minute, but I ended up dying. But that was one of the craziest scenes. Is just me, you, and we're like bandits,
I know, against the entire server, dude.
Yeah. So those were pretty good times.
That is funny, man. So yeah, mine are kind of similar. I think a lot of them are multiplayer. The first one I'll mention is, I think, what really got me into like Rock Band and all that. I realized I could play games on, or play the guitar on expert mode. Was, I think, Guitar Hero 2. It had that song Trogdor, and my cousin and I were trying to beat it. I think it was Christmas or something, so we were all spending the night at someone's house. And we spent the majority of the night trying to beat Trogdor. And I think it took us maybe 2 hours, but when we finally beat it, and we had to cheese it too, like, there was one part we couldn't do, so we would just automatically fail, and the other person would save their super, or, their little bar charge until that person failed,
to save
and then
them?
bring them back, yeah. But when we finally finished it, we're like, oh, yes, we're Guitar Heroes now. So that was good. Anytime we beat a Destiny raid for the first time, those are fun too. I think we talked a little bit about it last week. Anytime you beat Sephiroth in any video game, whether it's Final Fantasy VII or Kingdom Hearts, that's always a good time, because Sephiroth is just the most overpowered son of a bitch ever. And then I think one of the big ones for me was reaching level 50 in City of Heroes, man. That was really the first MMO I had ever played, and I think we were all grinding out on it for maybe 2 months or something. It was our whole summer break we were playing this game, And then I remember you and I were in a little competition of who would get to 50 first.
50 first?
Yeah, and then I hit you up because, I don't know, my team that I was running with was calling it quits for the day. And I only needed maybe 1 or 2 bars left to level up, and I knew you were playing, so I was like, hey Ben, can I join you? And you're like, oh yeah, sure. So I jumped in there, and I think we're doing the mission, fighting the freak show, which is what you do for the best experience in that game for power leveling. And then I saw the bar getting closer and closer to 50, so I kind of stood back and like got the camera ready, you know, for a screenshot. And then right when I hit 50, I was like, bing, 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 like hitting the screenshot button over and over and over, dude.
Yep.
I think I was like a douchebag about it too. I think afterwards I took all those pictures, I ran up and I was like, oh man, I'm not getting experience anymore. Everyone's like, oh, maybe you need to reset your game, you know. And then one guy goes, oh, it's because he's 50. And I was like, oh, what? Congrats, dude. Oh man, but yeah, that was a big one for me for sure, because that was really, you know, the first MMO we ever got into like that. I think we were invested in it too because we were paying for it with whatever money we had. So that one sticks with me to this day. But yeah, let's talk about some not so great moments in gaming. What are your like most disappointing moments that you've had that stand out to you still today, that you still cry about a little bit?
Okay, so I'm gonna be a little bit brief, but the first one was Slender Man.
Ooh.
And I don't play horror games a lot. I don't even like to look at horror games a lot. But
Same.
The thing is, you know, you like play with your friends, and that, I guess that's the best feeling when you can co-op. But thing was, for Slender Man, you know, that was the time when Slender Man was taking off and all that. And I remember we were in your backyard, and it was like me, you, and Eric. And I think that was it, just me and you and Eric. And I was playing Slender Man on your laptop.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I remember like I only played for like a couple of minutes, and then Slender Man like grabbed me or something, like appeared on my screen, and I jerked so much that like I tightened my stomach, and I was like holding myself. I have never jerked in a game, but by the way, and this was the first time where like I thought I, you know, pulled a rib or something like that. And I was like, dude, I'm done. I am I am done. And this is where I learned you were like saying something like, oh yeah, if you ever get scared, just watch your butthole because it tightens up when you're scared. I was like, what is going on? So the entire time I was scared, and then I would always like see, you know, am I clenching my butthole tighter?
It's true. It's true though, dude.
It is. So I was like, man, I just hope a little poo doesn't come out. Or
Just squeeze one out, dude.
but yeah, and then another time was, I don't think this is bad. This wasn't even bad for me. This is actually kind of funny. But we were playing Left 4 Dead 2, and we were near the end of beating the game, and I think it was like me, you, Eric, and I forgot who the fourth person was. It might have been Russ. But anyways, we were running on the bridge scene, and I remember like the fourth person died, and I was like, there's only 3 of us left, and we were running, shooting zombies and trying to get to whatever was at the end. I think it was a helicopter. And I got halfway in the bridge, and I like see both of you are like 20 feet ahead, and I was like, fuck, I'm not gonna make it. So I ended up dying, and I was like, oh dude, we're not gonna make it, we're not gonna cross this bridge. And then I remember like, I think you died, and then Eric was like, no, I'm not gonna leave a bro behind, kind of stuff. And then he comes back, kills a bunch of zombies, revives you, and then you like bolt past Eric, and then all the zombies swarm Eric and kills Eric, and I was like, whoa, wow. And you made it to the end, and I was like, I guess that counts, but that was pretty
I do remember
funny,
that.
dude.
All for one and one for all, dude. Come on, man.
Yep. Oh man. And the last one I would say is Vindictus. I was pretty powerful with my Eevee. She's like a mage that like does different types of attacks. She even can revive people.
Oh,
but anyways,
wow.
I remember we were fighting a boss on hard. Like I think it was the mammoth or something. And this mammoth wipes out my party of 8 instantly.
Oh wow.
and I'm the only one left. So I used one of my party feathers, which cost quite a bit of money in the game, and I revived the entire team. And they ended up dying somehow again a second time. So I ended up reviving them a second time. They die a third time. I don't know how. I'm like, what's going on, guys? But anyways, the mammoth was almost dead, and I didn't have any more feathers. I couldn't revive anybody because the thing was chasing me. But I had a skill which blocks like all attacks. If you double jump, basically, it puts me in a crystal ice thing that's vulnerable to attacks.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like I was like so close to killing the mammoth, and everybody was cheering me on, like, you know, you got this, you know, you can be a hero kind of stuff. And I was like, yes, I got this. Like, couple more attacks and he's done. And I remember right when I was getting ready for my like final shot attack, my computer crashed, and I was like, oh my god. So I just, at that point, I think I stopped playing Vindictus for like a couple of months, because one, I was disappointed, and two, I was embarrassed because, you know, people think that I just left them, you know, right when I was about to kill the boss. And I was like, damn it.
That's fucking funny, dude. I think you reminded me of a couple of things too. I haven't thought about playing Left 4 Dead in so long. We just have so many ridiculous stories from there too.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite ones is it No Mercy, that first level? We're on the roof with what do you call it? You're on the roof of that hospital.
Yeah, the hospital.
Yeah, and then I remember specifically, I think it was you, me, it might have been Eric, and Russ was the one that always played with us, or it could have been John Raymond. But anyways, we were on the roof and the helicopter was there. We were playing it on the hardest mode too, and we were barely surviving. And I think only 2 people had made it to the helicopter, and I was the last one. I was like throwing down cover fire or something, and I'm running to the helicopter. I remember it's like a movie. I'm like, yes, dude, 3 of us are gonna get out of here. And the tank comes up right next to me and hits me off of the roof. And I don't have time to process what happens, right? I just fly off the roof, and I'm like, okay, I died off the roof. And then it's just the cutscene, because that's it. All the survivors are on the helicopter already, and that shit just leaves. And I was like, okay, shit. Cool. I guess we still beat it. But I just remember too, everyone's like, dude, what happened? And I'm just too embarrassed to say that I got hit off the roof in one shot, dude, you know?
We gotta get these moments on like video or something.
I
like
know,
that.
man. It's too funny. Were you there when we started downloading the custom maps and stuff too?
Yeah, we're playing McDonald's a lot.
The Lord of the Rings. Do you remember the Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, the Lord. That one was fucking hard, though.
Yeah, man. That one was super hard, man.
That was fun, though. It was super fun.
They had like a model of Legolas in there too that you had to follow and all that shit. Oh man, good times, dude. Good times. Other moments that are less than stellar are recently when I lost my Chrono Trigger save file.
Oh yeah.
Still haven't played that game again.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. my save file. And then anytime in a Bloodborne Dark Souls game, when you die to a boss and then you're on your way back to the boss and you die on your way back.
You die and you lose your soul.
You lose all your souls, dude. That happened one time when I had over like 150,000 souls or something. I could have leveled up like 8 times, and I didn't even realize it at the time. I was like, wow, I just died on my way to the boss. Wow, I lost all those souls. You know what I mean? Just that.
I think those games teach you how to accept, to grieve.
Yeah, there's definitely a couple times where I really just turned off the game. I was like, you know what? I could have been level like 85 by now. Fuck this. You just turn it off. You know, you think about all the enemies you killed that were for nothing. Yeah. That's so fucking horrible, dude. And then I'd say maybe the last disappointing moment in my gaming history is not buying Enslaved. That I'll always
wow, I think I need to go buy that game.
I'm just kidding.
That's gonna be your Christmas present.
I'm not gonna accept it, dude, unless it's $3.
I hope it's on Steam.
Oh man. So which do you think, I don't know, a certain genre gets these magical moments, memorable moments out of you, man? It seems like it's a lot of multiplayer games, right? That seem the most memorable to you.
Yeah, and I think it's something like shooters or MMOs, like you were saying, just that online community that brings out like the best of you kind of thing. So it's like for shooters, for example, we're playing Left 4 Dead. You're just, you feel like you're all of you are cooperating in a team, and you have that pressure on you, and you're just doing your best to build yourself or to help the team. And especially like MMOs, the community, you're always looking to improve your character, to compete, to get the best of the gear. And I think just the development with that in itself is very good for these kind of genres.
Mm-hmm. And I totally agree with you there, because it's not just up to you at that point, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you have an understanding of your abilities and what you can do in a game when you throw in variables like other people into completing this one task. It makes it that much better, right? I think, when, for example, if you play basketball, you're kind of excited to play basketball, but if you watch like your nephew or your son or someone you really care about play basketball, you just get that much more into it, right? You're like, yeah, you better dunk that ball or some shit like that. You know what I mean? It's just that much more worth it because there's other people involved and shit like that. So
Like Bloodborne.
It still trips me out how easily we beat stuff, dude, playing together.
I know, even though we beat it easily, I don't know, I just have a blast just knowing
dude.
that we both could die at any moment, but we're both wrecking stuff.
Yeah, man. We need to do the Chalice Dungeons, by the way. I was watching a stream of like a bunch of people playing Chalice Dungeons together, so you can have up to 2 people help you out too, so maybe we can recruit other people. But
yeah.
anyways.
Oh, by the way, I was watching a stream too on Bloodborne, and this guy was like kind of doing like a speed run. I don't know what it was, but he started off from the beginning, and he did this weird glitch where he climbs the building, and he kind of like jumps, disconnects, goes back to the title screen, loads the game back, and then all of a sudden he's able to jump down, and he's already near Father Joe's area.
Oh, I think I've seen some things like that. Yeah, there's like weird save points and save spawns. Not in Bloodborne, but in Dark Souls too, where people do that. So, yeah, I don't know. That's why I can't bring myself to speedrun, at least with glitches. Glitches just totally changed the game, man.
Yep.
You could just clip over walls. I know there's this one in one of the N64 Zeldas where there's this wall that the only way to get over the wall is if you have a horse or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And you don't get a horse for hours, but people figured out how to jump over the wall without the horse, so they skip hours of gameplay just by jumping over this wall, and it cuts a lot of time into their speed run. So
yeah,
it's
exactly.
kind of gnarly. But yeah, like I said, I'm in agreement with you. With it really matters. I think multiplayer games mainly, MMOs for sure, and yeah, maybe shooters now. The shooter looters like Destiny, they make gaming moments that much more epic because there's more people around to witness it and to benefit from your victory. So it makes it that much better.
Yeah, to share your, the loot you get. You're like, oh, I'm jealous because you got XY Hawk Moon kind of stuff.
Oh, that's totally a memorable moment too, dude.
I think that's the horrible moment.
So for those who don't know, actually, is that still on your YouTube, man? When you did that?
Yeah.
Oh,
when
man.
I dismantled all of my stuff, I hope they don't put like a Hawk Moon #2
in Destiny 2, man. So that was
might have to do that again.
I don't know why we didn't mention that. That was one of the greatest moments I think in Destiny ever, man. 'Cause Rick really wanted the Hawk Moon, right? And this was a PlayStation exclusive weapon, exotic weapon. So you can only get it from a drop. Xur would never sell it because whatever Xur sold on PlayStation, you have to sell on Xbox too. And that's the only gun Rick ever wanted. It legitimately looks like Squall's gunblade too, which is crazy. Yep. So Rick made this pack after he saw all of us getting doubles and dismantling it, sending videos to him of us dismantling Hawk Moons. He made this pledge that he would dismantle every exotic he had in Destiny if he ever got the Hawk Moon.
Yep.
And I think it was at a point to where you were hoping it wasn't dropping for you, right?
Yeah, because at that point I was getting really good exotic gear. I had stashed a lot for all of my characters, and I was like, okay, maybe I don't want the Hawk Moon anymore.
And then the day happened when you finally got it, and you dismantled all of your exotics, dude.
Yeah.
And made a video of it and made the front page of Reddit. That was crazy, dude.
Yeah. I should have made a second video of like me dominating with the Hawk Moon in PvP or something like that. You know, the revenge of the disabled exotics. Because
it was everything. It was all your other weapons, all your armor that you had. Which at that point, that's the only thing that makes you level 30. So yeah, that was gnarly, dude. Good times, man.
It was tough dismantling them too. It's like, fuck, I saved up all my monies, or it took me forever, to get this, and now I gotta get rid of it. It's like, fuck.
I have to check that. I haven't watched that video since you did it, so I might have to watch that again, dude, and enjoy the good times. That was like what, 3 years ago, 2 years ago?
Damn, was it 3 years ago? Fuck.
I don't know. It was a long time, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, epic gaming moments. Oh, what's the one game where you were just on the edge of your seat? You just had an adrenaline high. I was the one main standout.
Destiny, especially raiding with you guys. You guys would just raid pretty hardcore, like you guys would get all of your posts done or do whatever you guys need. Kill all the enemies essentially. But I would sometimes be struggling with some of my enemies, and then I remember like you or Anthony would come over and kill some of my enemies to help me out, and I'm like, damn, dude, do I suck that badly? It's just. But the thing is, the goals we had for raiding was, essentially just beating it, getting whatever exotics, getting all the drops, and every time we raid, oh dude, sweat drops would start to form on the top of my head. I would be at the edge of my seat, it's because things get down to like the last seconds of beating the boss, or of it like going berserk or something like that, to wiping us out, and we'd always pull it off like at the last couple of seconds, or down to when the team is half wiped out. It's just so, I've never felt like that crazy amount of adrenaline all at once. And then, usually go into adrenaline and then you come right off of it. But dude, when we raid for like a couple of hours, and so that adrenaline is like always at its peak at the top.
It's just there the whole time, yeah.
Yeah, so by the time we're done, dude, like I just knock out, Sometimes I don't even turn off my PS3 or PS4 because I know it will auto turn off, so it's like. But yeah,
that's funny, man. Yeah, I think I'm with you on Destiny too. That's the only time I'm ever at the edge of my seat. I think the only other one I could really remember is Final Fantasy, man. When we were at E3, that was amazing too.
Oh yeah, damn.
And normally, like, it wouldn't be like that, but just the fact that there were that many people watching us play, you know what I mean? And there was so much on the line, like, it wasn't even for me. I didn't want to beat it for me. I wanted to beat it for Russ and everybody else watching.
Yeah.
Just made it that much more greater, and then just the applause at the end after we beat it was great too. That was
the glory days.
Glory days, I know. Kind of makes you think about what it would be like to be a pro gamer, huh? Just to play a game you would normally play, like whatever, Counter-Strike or something, but instead of hundreds of thousands of people watching you and clapping and shit.
Yeah,
man.
Damn, dude.
So,
yeah,
that's kind of wild. Memories, man. And we'll make even more as more multiplayer games get made. Oh my god,
we gotta
Red Dead 2, bro.
Oh,
Red Dead 2. I'm only thinking about trying to get bounties on that, dude.
Are you gonna show me your new dance, by the way?
My dance moves, man, on my horse and shit.
Don't let Brent show you any dance move at all
in any game. It's a trap. Ah, man, yeah, just thinking about that. Not even with Destiny 2, but with fucking Red Dead that's coming out, man. Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait. And that new, what's that one? Oh man, I always ask you what it's called too, but it looks like Diablo, and it's kind of an MMO. It's
Lost Ark?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be awesome too. once we play that. Monster Hunter Worlds. Oh, I know we were talking about that a little bit a while ago.
Yeah, I haven't even
the...
played Monster Hunter games. Me neither,
dude.
That's gonna be my first. It's gonna be sick.
Yeah, because that one's more of an MMO too, and we could fight monsters together. And I hope the loot is not shared, so we'll have to roll need or greed on that bitch. That's gonna be amazing, dude. It's gonna be so competitive. I can't wait. It's gonna be so troll.
You better not come out with a Hawk Moon in that game too.
Oh man, so I can't wait. There's only more good times to come for sure. Last section of our podcast today is the game recommendations. You already heard mine. Tomb Raider the remake. I think it's called The Dagger of Xian, Xian. But it's a complete remake of Tomb Raider 2. If you have a good computer, I'll put the website in the description. Definitely download it. Check it out. It's good times. It's compatible with your 360 controller, PlayStation controller, whatever you have. You could play it with a controller. Completely free too. You don't even have to donate. This guy isn't supposed to be making money off the game, so it's good times. Definitely try it out, especially if you've played Tomb Raider before. What game recommendations you got this week, Rick?
This one was one of the old games that was on the PlayStation 3, and it's called Flower. Have you heard of that game?
Flower, no.
So this was actually one of like a good hits. It was like an indie game, and what it is was you kind of control the wind, but you started off like as a single flower petal, and it was very therapeutic. And what you did was you like float. You're a flower petal like flying through the wind.
This. Yeah, okay. Yeah. And then you get more flower petals as you go along.
Yeah, okay. Through the whole thing. So you go through different types of weathers, whether it's like storm, windy, or whatnot. But then like at the end of the day or the end of the level, you get to like a very peaceful area with all of your flower petals behind you and all that you've accumulated. And it's just that great, and it was very beautiful at the time. I think it still is, but I would definitely recommend checking that game out. Back then it was like $10, but I don't know if it's like maybe like $5 now. And if you got a lot of stress and you want to play with flowers, that's definitely the game you gotta play.
Nice, dude. Yeah, and I think that goes back to what we were talking about before, and PAX, how indie games are really coming up, and they just don't have any boundaries. They can do whatever they want, and they'll still be fun. So
yeah,
nice, dude. I'll have to check that out. You said it was on PlayStation 3?
Yeah, PlayStation 3.
Awesome. I'll have to check that out. So yeah, that does it for us this week. I'm gonna go on and enjoy the rest of my 3-day weekend. We'll be back.
Hot weather.
Yeah, dude. Hell no, I'm gonna get an iced coffee ASAPCA, man. It's gonna be great. Next week we'll be back. We'll be talking about day one release woes in the online gaming era. Back in the day, you used to buy a game and pop the disc in, pop the cartridge in, and you could just play it, right when you get it. Nowadays, you'd have to download a day one patch or deal with a flooded server line. I know in games like Final Fantasy 14 and Blade and Soul, we've experienced these queues. So we'll talk about a little bit how gaming has suffered in the modern era now that everything's connected on the internet, man. Should be interesting. We'll have fresh experiences too from Destiny. Hopefully their launch isn't too crazy, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll be it for us this week. But before then, Rick, some words of wisdom?
Since it's a hot day, and if it gets too hot, take your boxers or panties and put it in a Ziploc bag and throw it in the freezer for a couple of hours. And then, dude, wear your clothing and it will feel great.
No bullshit, I'm gonna try that right now. Alright, guys. Peace.